Good morning, people. How are you? Halfway through the week, love it. Good morning, good morning. Thank you all so much for being here every single day. Today I'm talking about posture corrections, and I'm actually going to be talking about those hips. Nice. If you don't know who I am, hi, I am Elisa. I am the health and confidence coach, and I am here every single day, Monday to Friday at 9 a.m. to talk about the importance of moving and movement, and how moving could be the answer to your soreness and stiff areas that you've got going on around in your body. So I do stretches and sequences for you to get your teeth into every single day. But Wednesdays I love to chat about posture. And today I am talking about hips. And the reason why I wanted to talk about hips is because we actually do have a lot of issues in our hips. A lot of issues. A lot of people complain about hips being painful and stiff and sore and achy, and nothing seems to get to it. Sitting down doesn't help it. Standing up doesn't help it. Laying down gives you a little bit of relief, but it's obviously not great because that means you're going to be stuck laying down all day. So yeah, the hips actually do a lot of work, and we do suffer with a lot of pain in those hips, especially if we're not using them how they're meant to be used. And also the hips have such a wide range of movement that we hardly ever allow it to test its maximum range of motion. It's only ever really stuck in walking mode. So you see all of that movement there that it's missing out on, because I'm not doing anything else in my day, so I'm either just going to walk or I'm just going to sit down, and it doesn't ever let my hips have their full range of movement, which is why we start to become stiff. We're like seizing up in there. Yeah. Today I'm talking about hips in particular, because they are a big pain point for men and for women. And a lot of us have noticed, whilst I've been having chats with you over the few weeks, that hips hurt, but through chats that I've been having with you, a lot of you have a dominant hip. And what I mean by dominant hip is it's your go-to hip. It's your hip that does everything. So if you've got kids, it's the hip. You're going to sit your kid on that hip all the time because it's your dominant hip. When you're standing, you almost always tend to be rooting your weight through one hip. Yeah. So that's what I mean by dominant. It's in charge of a lot of things. And the other one, you just kind of let it get away with everything because we don't care, because we're still doing the movements that we want, even if it is all on one leg. This also people with the old handbags. Oh, this is so geeky of me, but when I was in hospital, as I was doing physio to come out with that, you know that we all love bags. In school, I didn't even have a backpack. I had a stupid little handbag that was like big enough to be a pencil case, and that was it. And yeah, it was a bit annoying that that they were recommending not to have bags anymore, one-hand bags. If you do have one-hand bags, then start swapping the shoulders. So you start it on here, and then you can change it over onto the other side, so that what happens if you use one side all the time is that it starts to drag down the weight, and again then this side becomes your dominant side, so it's used to having more weight put on it, which is putting you out of alignment. So if you cross it over, it evens things up a little bit more. And now I don't have, I've got clutch bags on the rare occasion that I might go out, but for every day I actually have some cute little backpacks that I put on. And I know that's so geeky, but I'm literally past the point of caring, because my chest is out, my shoulders are back, I've got a good engaged core, and I know that any extra weight that I'm carrying is actually being supported equally. So I would recommend those. If you're massively into those handbags, get rid of all the crap that is also in your handbag. So we literally carry around the kitchen sink in our handbags, and we hardly ever use it. We hardly ever use all that crap that's hanging around in there, but all of that crap is actually heavy weight, and especially if you add it all up. So if you're carrying weight around in your bag that you're not using, get rid of it so that your shoulders can have an easier time carrying your life around. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. So yeah, I would recommend those. And also another one is that people have a favourite hip for their kids to be on. And I think that that's just because you get used to chucking them over that side. You can stick that hip out and then they can sit on there. And it doesn't feel like it's causing you too much aggravation because they're sitting on this hip. Yeah. But if you always sit them on the same hip, you're going to have those problems where you're putting your hip out of alignment, you're putting a big weight on it, and then you're going to have to fight against it. So, as annoying as it is, change those hips. If you notice that you've had her on, or the baby on one side for too long, change the hip over to the other side. It's very annoying to play that game. I know it because I still play it. Obviously, I don't have kids, but I still play the hip game because I have a dominant leg. My dominant hip is this side because this is actually my good leg. If you know me very well, you'll know that once upon a time, due to surgeries, I couldn't walk. It took me a good few years to learn how to walk again, and I lost the whole use of this leg. I couldn't even pick it up. So I couldn't put weight through it either because I had no feelings there. So everything went into this bad boy. And so now, even years later, it's been 10 years, more than 10 years since I've recovered from that, and I still notice that I do have a favourite side. I like to walk. I like to use this leg to walk up the stairs with, so that this one doesn't have to do as much work. And that's actually something that I learned how to do whilst I was in physio. So it's not great for you to do. It's best for you to be equal. But at that moment in time of my life, I had no strength and no movement. So this one had to do all of the work. And I'm still unlearning all of that work over 10 years later. Much better at it, so I do pop over there and put my weight in there. But people that don't really, you will know if you have a dominant leg because we always stand on it. Always got one foot out, 1 foot in, and we're always on the hip, yeah. If you do that a lot, wouldn't be surprised if you feel lower back pain, if you feel the pain that goes down the leg there. You probably feel sore at the sides of the hips. You might even feel sore here as well. And really that's all just coming from letting yourself have that dominant leg or that dominant side and letting it just do what it wants. If we focus on fixing it and always being annoying about is my weight equally distributed? I know it's massive geek talk, but it's really going to help you out. So dominant side, be aware of it. If you've got the handbag, the laptop, if you're always carrying it on one side, it's extra dead weight that you're going to have to compensate, but your other side doesn't have that same weight to equal it out. So swap it over often. Perfect. There's something I wanted to talk about there. Yes. So I'm going to do some demos with you today. And usually I will teach you how to do great form and just check that you're distributed your weight evenly, and that's cool. But sometimes people that have a dominant hip are already experiencing probably a little bit of pain and discomfort from being in a bit of a weird angle for too long. And although practicing great posture is going to help you out, you will probably have to start to build some strength in your less dominant side, so that you get good form overall. And when I say that we're just going to do the less dominant side, we're actually going to do both sides, but it just helps your weaker side start to get a little bit stronger because you're starting to move it and you're going to start to trust it by putting weight into that side equally. Nice. So I'll quickly run through what great form is and great posture. Great posture you can get in 5 easy steps. They are, number one, anchor. You're going to anchor either your heels or your palms into the floor. We don't have our palms on the floor, so these are not our anchors right now. We're going to anchor our heels by pressing and screwing them in to anchor. When you anchor, you will feel the tension that you've created up your legs, and it's actually much easier to squeeze your bum in. That's number 2. For number 3, we're going to engage our core. Perfect. For number 4, we're going to make sure that our chest is out and our shoulders are back. For number 5, we're just going to check that rib cage is over the belly button. Those 5 steps of perfect form all the time, no matter what you're doing in life. If you are ever in doubt about how you're holding yourself, those 5 things are just a great checklist to check it off. And if you want a video on that, you can just send me a comment and I will send you that video. Perfect. Okay, so we've gone through practicing great form and those 5 steps to get it. So when you're noticing that you're letting your dominant side be dominant, that's when you're just going to check out those 5 steps to perfect form so that your body understands what good form is and how it's supposed to hold itself in the first place. Nice. Secondly, we're going to get on and do some stretches. It's actually some exercises. And these exercises are here to help build up our hip strength and our glute strength as well, because our hips and our bum work really well together. So we're going to work them both. How are we going to start this? I'm going to stand back up again. We're going to start here. What I love to do is I do do them every single day, but I make you do them a lot, and it's just because it's great for the hips. So what I'm going to do is get you to hold onto a little wall if you need it. You can lean all the way against it if you want to. Then what I'm going to get you to do is use your bum cheek to take your leg up to the ceiling. Now it's important that we're using the bum cheek to do that, as there we'll be building strength and we're also checking out our range of motion. Yes, nice. We'll do 10 of them over there. 9, 10, perfect. We will change it and we'll do another 10 over here. We're using that bum to lift the leg. Nice. Perfect. If you feel like you get really involved with these movements, like exaggerate it, then I want you to just pack it in and focus on keeping one heel rooted into the floor. Nice, we've done 10 there. Perfect. What we're going to do now is bring ourselves down onto the floor. We're going to have a little lay down. Yes, on the floor. Perfect. And we're going to do some glute bridges next. When we do our glute bridges, I want you to get your heels in line with your hips. We're still going to anchor those heels into the floor. We're going to try and get our shoulders into the floor as well for this move. You can put your hands on the floor. Nice. Then what you're going to do is use your anchors, your heels and your bum to press up to the ceiling. When you press up to the ceiling, don't just half-arse it. Don't half-arse it. I want a full bum squeeze. I want you to get it all the way up to the ceiling and gently back down to the floor. The reason why is that it is a half-assed move. If you just give it a little squeeze and then put it back down, you're not getting the full squeeze. You're not getting the full lot of it in, and there is always more bum squeeze to be had in this movement than you think there is. So make sure that you are squeezing it and then squeezing it a little bit higher up there as well. We do about 10 of these. Lovely. So you do as many of these as you want. Great for building your bum. Great for those hip flexors. So again, if you have those sore hips, this one might really help you out here and it builds your bum up. It's great. I must have done 10 there. Could do them all day. Love it. From there, we're going to have a little roll over. We're going to put ourselves into a tabletop position. Nice. And then what I'm going to get you to do is use your bum cheek again. We're going to use our bum to fire hydrant. I love fire hydrant. Guess why it's called a fire hydrant? Yes. Love it. We'll do 10 over there. And again, when you're doing this, it is your leg that's moving, but it's your bum cheek that is taking it out to the side. Yes. We'll do 10 and then we're going to do another 10 over there. Perfect. Nice. Well done, guys and girls. And everyone in between. Nice. 9, 10. Love it. What we're going to do now is a little hip stretch. We're going to, first of all, dip our hips into our hands, give it a little bum squeeze, and a little breathe. Perfect. We're going to hold this here for a few seconds, and then we're going to get down onto the floor. We're going to lay down. Nice. Good bum squeeze there. From here, we're going to take it down onto the floor. Yes, this is a stretch that not a lot of people know helps your hips out, but it is definitely a stretch that you're going to feel. So what I want you to do is have a little lay down on the floor here. We're going to use one hand to reach back. We're going to grab that foot If you cannot grab your foot, you get a towel or a pillow or t-shirt and just hook it round your little foot there, and then you can hold it. Once you've grabbed your foot, you may need a few seconds because it does hurt. Yes. And then what I want you to do is massively squeeze your hips into the floor. Squeeze it hard. It hurts. I want that hip bone on the floor. Yeah, nice. We're going to hold that there for a few seconds. Love it. You're going to put that down. You can have a little breather if you need it. And then we're going to change those legs. Nice. What a word. Good. What I want you to do now is just massively press those hips into the floor. Press it hard. If we're going to do it, we may as well make it worth it, right? Love it. I'm going to squeeze it in for a few more seconds. Enjoy that one. This is an intense stretch, but it's also a really effective stretch. It's great for sore hips and sore back. Perfect. You can let that one go. And then you can give yourselves a job well done for doing it. I haven't put too many moves in that routine. That's because I want you to be able to be like, oh, cool, yeah, I've got those sore hips that she was talking about. And oh, I do have a dominant side. Oh, well, it's easy for me to remember those 3 moves. So maybe I'll do them every day. You could probably do 3 rounds of those in a day and then feel good about it. But even if you only just did 1 round, you should definitely be feeling a lot looser in the hips already. So very good morning, everybody. Sorry, I didn't say hello to anybody. But thank you all so much for being here every day and doing the stretches with me. I hope that you enjoy them. And if you do have those sore hips, please just check it out. I know sometimes we can be like, oh, that's never going to work, or I sit down all day, or even I take all these painkillers and nothing helps. Well, listen, if you're in that much of a mess, get down the doctors so that they can actually help you out, because painkillers don't really help when it's a range of motion thing that's going on. You actually need to fix it. So if you're not going to move it and you're still in the world of pain, go and see the doctor. But if you are feeling creaky and stiff and sore and you know it's probably because you haven't moved very much lately, then check those out and tell me how great you feel about it. That would be lovely. Nice. Thank you all so much. And I'm going to say a quick hello to people that pop on later. If you do have any questions, just send me a message or put a little comment on. And if you've done these exercises with me and you found how great they were this morning, give me a little share so that other people who have got hips that are sore but aren't doing anything about it can learn and get a little routine going on. That would be amazing. Okay, I am going to get out of here for the day. I'll be back tomorrow. We're doing upper body stretches tomorrow. So if you're stiff and sore in the neck, shoulders, upper back area, then tomorrow is a good day for you to be tuning in. I will see you then. Have a lovely day. Goodbye.